Tony Rilligard Chronicles broadcast with breaking news. Please be advised.
Audio Jungle.
What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Tony Real the God, man, coming back at you with another review and another report. So here today, I have a report on Afghanistan. The Taliban takes Afghanistan. They took over Afghanistan, the capital, Kabul, or however you say that, and that was on Sunday, August 15th, and they took over Afghanistan. They overthrew the president of Afghanistan and took over Afghanistan. And they took over the capital, which was Kabul, and they overthrew President Ashraf Ghani, which the president in return fled the country with his family and with all of his government officials. Wow. That was very cowardice. So here we go. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, y'all. So we're going to be starting off reading right here. The Taliban have seized power in Afghanistan 2 weeks before the U.S. was set to complete its troops' withdrawal after a costly 2-decade war. Man, pray for Afghanistan, y'all. This is serious, y'all. This is just breaking news, man. This is so serious, and it's really sad that this is happening, and that it pretty much falls on Joe Biden, the president. I didn't vote for his ass anyway. It kind of pretty much falls in his hands because he's supposed to protect the troops out there, the American troops, and he's supposed to prevent things like this from happening. But, of course, people see things differently from others. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, I was shooing away a fly. The insurgents stormed across the country, capturing all major cities in a matter of days, as Afghan security forces trained and equipped by the U.S. and its allies melted away. Here's a look at what happened and what comes next. What's happening in Afghanistan? So here we go. Here it says the Taliban, a militant group that ran the country in the late 1990s, have again taken control. The U.S.-led invasion of Afghanistan in 2001 ousted the insurgents from power, but they never left. After they blitzed across the country in recent days, the Western-backed government that has run the country for 20 years collapsed. Afghans, fearing for the future, are racing to the airport and of the last routes out of the country. Wow. And here we have why people are fleeing the country. They're worried that the country could descend into chaos, or the Taliban could carry out revenge attacks against those who worked with the Americans or the government. Many also fear the Taliban will reimpose the harsh interpretations of Islamic law that they relied on when they ran Afghan from 1996 to 2001. Back then, women were barred from attending school or working outside the home. They had to wear the all-encompassing burqa and be accompanied by a male relative whenever they went outside. The Taliban banned music, cut off the hands of thieves, and stoned adulterers. Wow. This is serious, y'all. This is really serious, and it's really sad what's going on in Afghanistan right now. People are fearing that they're going to go back to the old traditional cultural ways as far as religion. Like, they want to get out of there, man, because, after years of a Western-backed government, people have become accustomed to the new ways of life. And sounds like to me the Taliban are not accustomed to it. They miss the old ways. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. And lots of people have said, man, you should do a story on this, such and such, such, all this stuff. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna touch on it. I'm gonna touch on it, and I'm gonna give the people what they want. So here we go. The Taliban have sought to present themselves as a more moderate force in recent years and say they won't exact revenge, but many Afghans are skeptical of those promises. They don't trust them. Go into it a little further here. Hey, let me see if I can widen this up for y'all so y'all can get more of this. Hopefully y'all can see that. So I'm reading right here, why are the Taliban taking over now? So it says here, probably because U.S. troops are set to withdraw by the end of the month, the U.S. has been trying to get out of Afghanistan, its longest war, for several years now. So that just means that the Taliban also knew about the soldiers being pulled out. American troops ousted the Taliban in a matter of months when they invaded to root out Al-Qaeda, which orchestrated the 9/11 attacks while being harbored by the Taliban. But it proved more difficult to hold territory and rebuild a nation battered by repeated wars. As the U.S. focus shifted to Iraq, the Taliban began to regroup and in recent years took over much of the Afghan countryside. Wow. Last year, then President Donald Trump announced a plan to pull out and signed a deal with the Taliban that limited U.S. military actions against them. President Joe Biden then announced that the last troops would leave by the end of August. So Trump signs a deal to get them out of there now. You change it up and talking about, nah, one more month. But a lot of y'all voted for President Biden, huh? That dumbass motherfucker. All he do is sleep. He don't run shit. That's just real tough. I mean, Trump did a better job than him. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, as the final deadline drew close, the Taliban began a lightning offense, overrunning city after city. I'm right here where it says, why did the Afghan security forces collapse? That's where I'm at, y'all. Just read along with me and listen up. The short answer, corruption. The U.S. and its NATO allies spent billions of dollars over 2 decades to train and equip Afghan security forces, but the Western-backed government was rife with corruption. I'm sorry, where we at? I kind of lost track. Oh, okay, hold on. Alright, here we go, I'm sorry. I almost lost track a little bit, y'all. My bad. Commanders exaggerated the number of soldiers to siphon off resources, and troops in the field often lacked ammunition, supplies, or even food. Now hold on, this word right here is just weird. Exaggerated. I'm sorry. Exaggerated. I guess that's what that is. Exaggerated. I gotta get me some new glasses, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm all fucked up. Anyway, here we go. Their moral further eroded when it became clear the U.S. was on its way out. As the Taliban rapidly advanced in recent days, entire units surrendered after brief battles, and Kabul and some nearby provinces fell without a fight. Wow. So I'm right here where it says, what happens to the president of Afghanistan? He fled. President Ashraf Ghani hunkered down and made few public statements as the Taliban swept across the country on Sunday. As they reached the capital, he left Afghanistan, saying he had chosen to leave to avoid further bloodshed. It's not clear where he went. He probably went in the mountains or some shit like that. He wasn't trying to hear that shit. He was like, he like, man, fuck this. We getting the fuck out of here, nigga. Getting the fuck out of here. He didn't want to sit there too damn much longer for that shit. Nah, he was like, nah, we getting out of here. Let's go. And I find that to be a very coward move, because you are the president and you are supposed to protect your country from threats like this. And your sorry ass cowardly left, took your family and most of your government officials under your authority with you. Wow, that's a coward move. Whew. Okay, so y'all, I'm right here. It says, why are people comparing Afghanistan to the fall of Saigon? The fall of Saigon to North Vietnamese forces in 1975 marked the end of the Vietnam War. It became an enduring symbol of defeat after thousands of Americans and their Vietnamese allies were airlifted out of the city on helicopters. U.S. Secretary of State Tony Blinken has rejected any comparisons to Afghanistan, saying, "This is manifestly not Saigon." I'm right here where it says, what will happen next in Afghanistan? It's not clear. The Taliban say they want to form an exclusive Islamic government. Wow. With other factions. They are holding negotiations with senior politicians, including leaders in the former government. They have pledged to enforce Islamic law, but say they will provide a secure environment for the return of normal life after decades of war. Wow. This is one hell of a story, y'all, and I'm glad I get to touch on this, man. I'm glad I get to, present this story to y'all, man. So let's continue. I'm right here where it says game over. Westerners rush to leave Kabul, rescue Afghans. Right here. You see that lighting up blue, y'all? Right there. Here we go. But many Afghans distrust the Taliban and fear that their rule will be violent and oppressive. One sign that worries people is that they want to rename the country the Islamic Emirate or Emirate of Afghanistan, which is what they called it the last time they ruled. Wow. What does the Taliban takeover mean for women? Here we go. Many fear it could mean a severe rollback of rights. Afghan women have made major gains since the overthrow of the Taliban. Many are worried they will once again be confined to their homes. The Taliban have said they are no longer opposed to women attending school, but have not set out a clear policy on women's rights. Afghanistan remains an overwhelmingly conservative country, especially outside major cities, and the status of women often varied, even under Taliban rule. Wow. They got a lot of shit going on out here, y'all. So here we go. I'm right here where it says, will the Taliban once again harbor Al-Qaeda? That's anyone's guess, but American military officials are worried. In the peace deal signed with the United States last year, the Taliban pledged to fight terrorism and prevent Afghanistan from again becoming a base for attacks. But the U.S. has little leverage to enforce that. Technological advances over the last 20 years allow the United States to target suspected militants in countries like Yemen and Somalia, where it does not have a permanent troop presence. The Taliban paid a heavy price for their role in the September 11th attacks, and likely hope to avoid a repeat as they seek to consolidate their rule. Wow. So pretty much, these guys are just pretty much tired of Western backed rule They want their country back, and they don't want it to be ruled over by Western rule anymore, America anymore. They don't want that anymore. They're tired of it, and they're ready for their home to once again be their home. Wow. They said that, hey, we tired of this, man. We want our home back. It's kind of like kicking somebody out your house that you no longer want in your house. That's exactly what they did. They got tired of that, that Western politics, those Western politics. They got tired of that, man. They wanted to put it back in traditional faction, traditional era, traditional normalcy. So they wanted their home back. They got it back, and now they have to do negotiations. So let's hope that goes well. As far as the September 11 attacks, funny. I'll let y'all be the judge of that. And I can tell you one thing. I know exactly how that really went down, but that's for another story. Y'all look into it yourselves. Here we go. But earlier this year, the Pentagon's top leaders said an extremist group like Al Qaeda may be able to regenerate in Afghanistan, and officials are now warning that such groups could grow much faster than expected. Afghanistan is also home to an Islamic State group affiliate that has carried out a wave of horrific attacks targeting its Shiite minority in recent years. The Taliban have condemned such attacks, and the two groups have fought each other over territory. But it remains to be seen whether a Taliban government will be willing or able to suppress IS. Maybe. We don't know. We do not know, y'all. We do not know. I'm just scrolling, just trying to see and make sure we got anything. So pretty much the U.S. is pretty much worried about Al Qaeda getting stronger because, they've been fighting with Al Qaeda for the longest. Okay? And there's been so much going on with this war in the Middle East that, people are just tired of war, tired of fighting. People want to live their lives. Too much bloodshed. And everything is coming to a head, man. It's coming to a head. This is what I've been talking about for years. How it's all going to change. How things are going to stop being, controlled by the government. The people will rise. The people will stand. That's how this shit is going, y'all. So y'all got to get ready. Get ready, man, because this is going to happen a lot of places. But I want to go ahead and show y'all these video clips. So get ready, man. And it's a video clip, basically. I'm going to show y'all right here. We're going to turn away from here and go here. So this is a video clip, pretty much, U.S. and Afghan president, fleeing the country. So watch on, and I'm gonna be quiet in the background. Let's go.
This is something that President Biden has said he was going to do. He campaigned on this for years now. He suggested that it was time for American troops to come home, that it was time to leave Afghanistan. There shouldn't be a permanent presence there. That said, certainly the events got the better of them in recent days. Officials have told us they did not expect things to deteriorate so quickly, but at least for now, the Biden White House is not looking to change course. There's no plan here to keep permanent presence there. The forces they've sent in the last couple of days are simply to get Americans out. The embassy is closed. The U.S. flag is down. American personnel is at the airport right now in Kabul, being fortified by the U.S. military. But that is the scene of some really heartbreaking images today of Afghan citizens, some of whom were translators or others who helped American forces in their home country, others just civilians trying to escape the Taliban who are thronging airplanes, trying to get on flights, even like clinging to the landing gear of U.S. military aircraft as they take off, leaving some really tough images, including some people falling. from hundreds of feet in the sky. We're hearing from many in the administration, including National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, who questioned Afghans' will to defend themselves and saying the U.S. forces can't do it for them. But what you're not getting is any second guessing about the decision to leave. Certainly how they've left, that will be second guessed for quite some time. But Biden and his team have been consistent on this, and they actually point to the events of the last few days, saying it reaffirms their decision to leave, basically saying if Americans spent 20 years in Afghanistan and billions of dollars to build the Afghan security forces, and they can be overrun in a matter of days, what difference would it make if they stay another 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever it might be? So they haven't had any second thoughts about the decision to pull out, but of course, they wish it were going to. As a security analyst put it to me over the weekend, there are 4 presidents who deserve some fair share of the blame for the missteps in Afghanistan. Right now, Joe Biden is the face of the failures of the withdrawal. That even though this was a process that started under Donald Trump, he agreed to it. Biden didn't have to honor that agreement. He decided to. He delayed it only slightly. So it is his administration right now that is left to try to fix what's going on, to get Americans out safely, to get Afghan allies out safely, and have to deal with repercussions, including perhaps a diminishment of how America looks in the world's eyes, allowing this to happen.
Get back to the place.
Okay. And that's it on that one. And that's kind of crazy how he said that Biden didn't have to honor that decision, that Trump was already going to pull out the troops. But before he could even pull out the troops, Trump was no longer president. And he didn't say it, and then he was like, he didn't have to. Oh, wow. But Biden is the face of this failure. He is. If he'd have pulled those troops out long before he became, long after he became president, this would have never happened. But this is who y'all voted for, though, right? So on this next video we have here where it says troops, they pretty much aided the withdrawal, the chaotic withdrawal. Fast-moving Taliban fighters take Kabul, trigger Afghan government collapse, and there were troops to help this chaotic withdrawal. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video, and I will be in the background shutting up. Here you go. These are multiple videos as well, y'all.
Just showing you again those pictures from earlier of Taliban fighters behind the desk of the presidential palace.
Don't be victim of their Taliban propaganda. Kabul will be safe.
In 1975, when the U.S. pulled out of Saigon, and you saw U.S. diplomats, Vietnamese, people who had been sided with us, clamoring on to helicopters on the embassy roof.
I like these.
You'd also like these.
I want those. I just shipped them.
I just got them.
I just picked them up.
Act on real-time shopper insights together. Commerce everywhere from SAP.
I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me. When I came into office, I inherited a deal that President Trump negotiated with the Taliban. The choice I had to make as your president was either to follow through on that agreement or be prepared to go back to fighting the Taliban in the middle of the spring fighting season. We were clear-eyed about the risk. We planned for every contingency, but the truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated. So what's happened? Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. The Afghan military collapsed, sometime without trying to fight. When I hosted President Ghani and Chairman Abdullah at the White House in June, and again when I spoke by phone to Ghani in July, we had very frank conversations. We talked about how Afghanistan should prepare to fight their civil wars after the U.S. military departed, to clean up the corruption in government so the government could function for the Afghan people. We talked extensively about the need for Afghan leaders to unite politically. They failed to do any of that. I also urged them to engage in diplomacy, to seek a political settlement with the Taliban. This advice was flatly refused. Mr. Ghani insisted the Afghan forces would fight, but obviously he was wrong. I know there are concerns about why we did not begin evacuating Afghan civilians sooner. Part of the answer is some of the Afghans did not want to leave earlier, still hopeful for their country. And part of it because the Afghan government and its supporters discouraged us from organizing a mass exodus to avoid triggering, as they said, a crisis of confidence.
I like these.
You'd also like these.
I want those. I just shipped them.
I just got them.
I just picked them up.
Connect everyone to help sell more. Commerce Everywhere from SAP.
Thanks so much, John. As you know, I'm from Afghanistan and I'm very upset today. Because Afghan women didn't expect that overnight all the Taliban came. They took off my flag. This is my flag. They put their flag. Everybody is upset, especially women.
He acting like he care, y'all. Look at his face. He don't
Where is
give a
my
fuck.
president, former President Ghani? People expected that he bye-bye with the people. And immediately he ran away. We don't know where is he. And we don't have a president. President Biden said that President Ghani, no. He has to fight for us people. They have to do everything, and we were able to financially help them. But we don't have any president. We don't have anything. Afghan people, they don't know what to do. Women has a lot of achievement in Afghanistan. I had a lot of achievement. I left from the Taliban like 20 years ago. Now we go back to the first step again. Do you have any comment? Where is our president Ghani? He should answer to Afghan people.
Well, I obviously can't speak for Ashraf Ghani or where he is or what his views are. I wouldn't do that. But let me say with all respect that I understand, and we all understand, the anxiety and the fear and the pain that you're feeling. It's clear and it's evident. And nobody here at the Pentagon is happy about the images that we've seen coming out in the last few days. And we're all mindful of the kind of governance that the Taliban is capable of. So, you know, heartfelt respect to what you're going through, and we understand that. A lot of us have spent time in Afghanistan. The general mentioned that everything that you're seeing in the last 48, 72 hours is personal for everybody here at the Pentagon. We too have invested greatly in Afghanistan and in the progress that women and girls have made politically, economically, socially, and we certainly do understand and we do feel the pain that you're feeling, probably not to the same extent. We're focused right now on making sure that we do the best we can for those Afghans who helped us.
I like these.
You'd also like these.
I want those. I just shipped them.
I just got them.
I just picked them up.
Connect everyone to help sell more. Commerce Everywhere from SAP.
Our mission in Afghanistan was never supposed to have been nation building. It was never supposed to be creating a unified, centralized democracy. Our only vital national interest in Afghanistan remains today what it has always been: preventing a terrorist attack on America's homeland. I've argued for many years that our mission should be narrowly focused on counterterrorism, not counterinsurgency or nation building. So what's happened? Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. The Afghan military collapsed, sometime without trying to fight. If anything, the developments of the past week reinforced that ending U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan now was the right decision. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves. We spent over $1 trillion. We trained and equipped an Afghan military force of some 300,000 strong. It is wrong to order American troops to step up when Afghanistan's own armed forces would not. The political leaders of Afghanistan were unable to come together for the good of their people, unable to negotiate for the future of their country when the chips were down. They would never have done so while U.S. troops remained in Afghanistan, bearing the brunt of the fighting for them. As we carry out this departure, we have made it clear to the Taliban, if they attack our personnel or disrupt our operation, the U.S. presence will be swift and the response will be swift and forceful. We will defend our people with devastating force if necessary. Our current military mission will be short in time, limited in scope, and focused in its objectives. Get our people and our allies as safely as quickly as possible. And once we have completed this mission, we will conclude our military withdrawal. I'm now the 4th American president to preside over war in Afghanistan. 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. I will not pass this responsibility on to a 5th president. I will not mislead the American people by claiming that just a little more time in Afghanistan will make all the difference. Nor will I shrink from my share of responsibility for where we are today and how we must move forward from here. I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me.
Yeah, right. You ain't shit,
I like
Biden.
these.
You'd also like these.
I want those. I just shipped them.
I just got them.
I just picked them up.
Act on real-time shopper insights together. Commerce Everywhere from SAP.
It's an unmitigated disaster of epic proportions. And I think the president, this is going to be a stain on this president and his presidency. And I think he's going to have blood on his hands for what they did.
He is absent from this discussion. He is absent from the leadership that our country needs right now.
I think the president felt strongly about this, obviously. He overruled his own military leaders to do it, and he owns it.
This is President Biden's Saigon moment, and unfortunately, it was very predictable. It seems like many in President Biden's intelligence community got this devastatingly wrong, and I think a lot of questions will be asked later about why just weeks ago they were saying something completely different than what we're seeing on the ground today in Afghanistan.
The Trump administration, the agreement that was negotiated, Secretary Pompeo negotiated, actually was a surrender agreement. It was a document that had a date certain for our withdrawal.
Simply the fact that President Trump announced we were going to leave in May didn't mean President Biden had to do that.
But there's a difference between the decision to withdraw and how that decision was executed. Whatever you think of the first decision, the execution of Joe Biden has been recklessly negligent.
Joe Biden is responsible for this, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump had a conditions-based withdrawal. The person to blame here is the commander-in-chief who rejected sound military advice. Joe Biden has been incompetent most of his political life when it comes to foreign policy. As commander-in-chief, he is now dangerous.
Certainly there is sufficient blame on both sides, but this decision to just fundamentally withdraw, really, I mean, we're watching unfold what it looks like when America adopts a policy of retreat, when America adopts a policy of surrender. It makes us less safe, and it's going to make the war longer.
I like these.
You'd also like these.
So we're gonna go ahead and exit from that. I think y'all pretty much get the picture. Let's head back to the newsroom. So as you can see, there is so much debate going on dealing with President Joe Biden. He has not been as swift as he so claimed he was going to be with this situation. So as you can see, President Biden obviously did not have any intentions on pulling the troops out until the last minute, until the shit hit the fan. What kind of president is this? This is the president y'all want in the White House? Are you sure? Huh? Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. And the Taliban, like I read to y'all, man, they were in power for a long time. They were overthrown because of their cultural and religious beliefs. And they were killing people. They were murderers. But they did it only because of what they believed in. And I respect that about them. But they did not have to take lives. And there was so much disagreement among the Taliban and the government at that time when they were ruling. Well, among people, period, governments, period, people in power, period, that they were overthrown. And now years later, they're back in power. What does that mean for Afghanistan? What does that mean far as the culture? Far as how they advanced technologically? What does that mean for that land, for that country? What does that mean for those people, for those children? What does it really mean, y'all? And Joe Biden pretty much is blaming everybody else, and he's to blame. And it's really sad how you got a president that don't want to stand on what the hell he's done, and you know what I'm saying, and be firm about his failures. This was his failure. Here's the reason why this happened. They had a presence in Afghanistan to keep things like this from happening. Now all of a sudden, oh well, they don't have to defend them. But you should have been taking the troops out Afghanistan back in May. Trump signed made a deal with the Taliban to pull the troops out in a safe manner. And he didn't have a chance to do that because he was not reelected as president. I say to all of you out there that know, well, that have a heart, pray for this country, Afghanistan. Pray for the people and all the men and women and children out there that cannot defend themselves and that are having this, has to now go through this drastic, huge change that's going to affect their lives forever. And pray that Joe Biden get his tired, sleepy ass out the White House. And that's just facts. He never should have been president. And I think Trump should have stayed his ass in it because he was showing results. And if you don't believe me, look up all the things that Trump did that they claim he did not do, and you will see the facts. But anyway, that's for another discussion and another argument. Please support the channel, man. Hashtag Big Tony Main. GoFundMe.com/TonyRiddleGuard202. And the money and whatever support however much you can provide for the channel will be provided for the channel, not for my personal gain. I don't do shit like that. It's for the channel only. So that'll just about do it, man, for the show. I really appreciate y'all watching. Holla. No, I ain't gonna say it like that. I ain't gonna say it like that, y'all. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all coming out and clicking on this video, man. Holla at your boy to the next review and to the next report. Holla at your boy. This has been a Tony Real God Chronicles broadcast with breaking news. Thank you for being advised. Thank you for watching.
Audio Jungle.